What? Don't laugh at me.
No.
It's gonna happen.
This
it's gonna
is
happen.
possible. Very
$3.50. It's gonna happen.
Hey guys, Krisha here. Please be cautious of any fake comments and emails you may receive from people pretending to be Mango Research. Sean and I will never, ever contact you for investment opportunities or anything of that sort. To get in touch with the real Mango team, make sure to join our official Discord chat using the link in the description below. Stay safe out there, and remember, do it Mango.
And what's up, you guys? Welcome to the Mango Grove. My name is Krisha, and this is today's Bitcoin and Cardano analysis video. I have Sean with me today. Sean, say hi.
Good morning, everyone, and happy friggin' Sunday.
That's right, it's a Sunday. Lazy Sunday. So we are going to try and keep this one to the point. Now, of course, we're going to be starting off with Bitcoin. Now, actually, you know what? We're going to be starting off with this beautiful Mango dashboard. We just noticed something very odd, almost like an outlier. So we'll be talking about that. We'll be going over the returns as well as, what that trend is really telling us for Bitcoin as well as Cardano. And only then will we be switching on over to the charts. Today's priority, of course, is going to be that weekly time frame. Okay, and why is that? It's because we close that weekly candle tomorrow. So we'll be talking about that, and only then will we be moving on over to Cardano. Sean, are you ready?
Let's do it.
Oh, you ready? And hey guys, don't forget actually, before we jump in, do tell us which coin you want us to cover in tomorrow's video. And of course, the popular vote wins. Also, I just want to give a big shout out to Doug here, who says, just makes me so smile when Krisha says cool beans. I haven't heard it used in a long time, and I'm old enough to remember the 70s, though it didn't catch on in the UK. Great video as always. However, notice his next question, Sean. He says, any advice for those still in the starting blocks? Honestly, Doug, I say stick to the higher time frames. The thing about when you're entering the world of just trading in general, you'll notice that, Sean, every time you get on over to the charts, the first, I mean, it's a default now. They show you the 1 hour time frame and the 30-minute time frame, which is just
the 15-minute time frame with some of them.
It's irresponsible. Like that stuff can really evoke emotions in people.
They are being responsible to themselves because, hey, the more you trade, the more trading fees they get, right? So keep that in mind. They want you to trade more often. That doesn't necessarily mean it's what's best for you. In fact, most likely for most new traders, you want to be trading as you want to be putting in as less trades as possible over the duration of a week or a month, right? So trade the higher time frames. That's the best way.
That's the best
starting block, basically.
And I wish that there was someone in my when I started off. I wish someone actually told me that, because it would have saved me a lot of money. Now let's get on over to the Mango dashboard. I'm currently on the daily time frame here. Sean, yields 10 years as well as 30 years are selling off right now, which is an interesting picture. On top of that, notice how Bitcoin USDT as well as we're covering Cardano, both are still long on the dashboard, telling us that trend is still bullish.
XRP. Ooh, let's do something different. Let's do Cardano and XRP today, because check out the volume on XRP.
Yeah.
Oof.
That was the outlier, by the way. Yeah.
XRP is beginning to grab my attention. It's up 75% since the long call 17 days ago.
That's insane. 75%.
These USD returns are beginning to look so juicy. The FOMO might be building in a lot of late bull traders. Hey, maybe we actually do see a pullback now when people begin to say, hey, am I missing out on the bull run?
But what do you think of that volume? That volume is like pretty, that's like, that is outlier information right there. That I have never seen XRP USDT on top of the list, wherein the volume is, exceeding that of Bitcoin's and hell, even Ethereum's.
Yeah. Ethereum is down 2% today. That's interesting as well, while Bitcoin, not really, right? So yeah, it's going to be an interesting week ahead of us. So those of you who are regular viewers, stay tuned for next week, because we're going to be finding opportunity regardless of which direction price moves.
Yeah, so definitely keep your eyes peeled on tomorrow's close. So guys, as far as the dashboard is concerned, Bitcoin USDT is still long. This bullish long trend change came to us 19 days ago, and if you manage to catch the trade on that, you are still up 23% even after the pullback. Cardano USDT USDT as well gave us that bullish long trend change about 2 weeks ago, 15 days ago. And well, if you caught a trade on that, you're up 60%. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at Cardano's chart today, so I'm not sure what that pullback looks like. But without further ado, Sean, let's get in.
Let's do it.
Brilliant. Okay, so here we are, Bitcoin on the weekly time frame. You know what? I'm sticking to the same thing. I'm looking for the green box territory to be taken out, even on the weekly time frame, for me to switch bullish on a trend basis. Okay, I've been very, very, I've been very steadfast with my thing of I'll be only playing the ranges until we really get up over that region. How about let's go ahead and look at where Bitcoin is relative to those cloud regions. And look at that, Sean.
That Tenkin. That resistance.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the weekly?
Okay, so I've been actually looking at something else as well that I didn't want to fully mention on yesterday's video, but I have been mentioning it often enough in the previous videos that people who have been paying attention should have been keeping an eye on, and that's essentially my essentially line in the sand where I turn like strong bullish, right? Like I don't say ultra bullish, that sounds a little bit too bullish, but like very bullish. That level comes in actually on the bi-weekly, Christian. We're closing the bi-weekly very, very soon. And that is off the dynamic on the bi-weekly. If those of you have been following us, you guys know that I've been watching this like a hawk for a very, very long time. As soon as we lost it over here, that's when I actually turned bearish and said, hey, I'm going to turn bullish as soon as we take back the dynamic on the bi-weekly, right? Now, when I say turn bullish, I mean like strongly bullish, right? I'm going to start looking like for those really, really aggressive trades where I start building big positions on Bitcoin again. If you guys have been following now for over the past few weeks, we've been building a long trade, essentially our trend trade from somewhere around here. We did go long somewhere around here. Coincidentally, we did manage to catch the bottom on that up thrust, but again, over here we're playing the range. Then we turned bullish. Kusha, but it was more in that accumulation stance, right? Not aggressive. We are playing the monthly time frame. Okay, now you're beginning to start seeing the lower time frames, like the weekly and the bi-weekly time frames, also begin to threaten to flip around bullish. This is one of the big ones I'm looking at because Kusha, we've already closed the weekly above the dynamic. Okay, we have a good monthly close, right? That monthly is what flipped us. Initially. Now we have the monthly pressing down onto the mid-ish time frames. Okay, now relative to the monthly, guys, the weekly and the bi-weekly you would consider mid time frames, right? So it's all relative. If we do get that close above here, Kusha, man, that's going to be a great close. I would have liked to see it close convincingly right above the wick over here, but hey, we do have around 10 hours to go. A lot can happen. That being said, the flip can happen, Kusha, and we could close underneath, and that would just validate that, hey, this resistance is still resistance. Nothing to write home about. We just wait for the next bi-weekly.
I absolutely love how Sean's trade has sort of, how you guys have been able to watch his trade unfold, right? He caught the trade right here and he's been riding it since, but it did not start off as a trend trade. It was based on that monthly close that really tipped us more towards the bullish edge. Now, for those of you looking to learn, I suggest that you catch that when Sean took his trade and watch all the videos after that, because you get to see him really build on that trade and how the entire thing really progresses. Right, that will give you some amazing trading tips on how Sean builds his positions. So definitely, I'm going to try and link it if I find it in that series. I'll try and link the first one, and then you can sort of just take it from there. But Sean, I actually really like the bi-weekly. I actually have not been looking at this. The dynamic on the bi-weekly, guys, freaking phenomenal. But also notice this one thing. Ever since we broke down, okay, so this was that May 19th candle. May 19th pretty much fell there. We lost the dynamic. We've been holding that as resistance now ever since that breakdown. Okay, this is going to be the first time that we close inside the dynamic, as well as right now we're threatening the top.
The previous bi-weekly, Kusha, if you zoom in over here, you're going to see that we tested the op line right over there, right? So if you're at the time, the dynamic was still red, flipping, essentially indicating bearish, and that was essentially your opportunity. That's why you call it the op line or the op dot to take a short trade. Now, if you were if you had a bullish bias, that short position over there would have been more of a range trade. And hey, now we're looking to test the next level of the dynamic, which is the upper range of the dynamic. Right
Yeah.
there. So hey, let's see if we close above. We don't know if it's going to or not, but it's always if this then that. If we close above, hey, that bullish meter ticks up a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. So by the way, guys, the top of the dynamic right now comes in at around 45,200-ish. Okay, so if it's once we really close over that, will the 2 week, actually start looking very, very, very good, because now the monthly is bullish, the weekly is bullish, as well as the bi-weekly. So it's going to start looking very good in that regard. So this is Bitcoin on, well, the 2 week. Sean, is there any other time frame that you're looking at?
Well, again, you guys know what I'm looking at. It's the 4-day, the weekly, the bi-weekly, and the 4-day time frame over here, seeing a sell-off. We do still have a good Ichimoku setup over here, but again, right over here, we're about to close the 4-day in a day and 11 hours, so the day after the weekly close. I want to see this close a little bit better, right? Seeing that resistance of the weekly is expected. Again, though, I'm not expecting anything fancy or anything crazy just yet. I still want to see the Tenkin close above the Kijun. We don't have that just yet. But again, the 4-day dynamic is also, again, giving us that early signal that things are beginning to look better earlier than usual. So, hey, again, patience is going to be the name of the game. My thesis from all the way back in around June when we broke down is that, hey, leading into late August, September is when things are likely going to start picking up, even in the altcoin markets. Bitcoin has already surprised us and been a little bit earlier on that. We are mid-August now. By September, we should know. Either this rolls over and we look for new lows underneath 25,000, or, well, we start breaking back into this major zone over here, Krisha, where at that point, I believe in you are going to be flipping bullish on the trend trades.
I mean, that's the breakdown point. That's my system. Those are my rules. I will play it based on my system if I am invalidated. And yes, I will be having invalidation points even on my system. If I'm invalidated, I'll take the other side of the trade. Very, very, very simple. I'm going to keep my emotions out of it. I'm going to keep my biases out of it.
All right. So targets then.
Yes, targets to the upside. I mean, right now I do believe that we're smack up against resistance. Once again, guys, I'm looking at that green box territory, which comes in at around 46,900-ish. Okay, 47,000, let's round up. That also lines up with the weekly Tenkin. Okay, it's right here, the weekly Tenkin. And if I am not wrong, that is also the daily top of the cloud. Right? And there you have it. So, and you know what? I'm going to be keeping it very simple. I have been keeping it simple. Weekly is the name of the game here. Keep it very simple. I feel like people who have been following the higher time frames are the ones really getting rewarded here. The ones playing those, even the chunky ranges on the 4-hour time frame have been getting chopped.
Yeah.
Right? We're seeing these fake outs happen, and it's not been a pretty picture for some. So this is the first target, okay? It's only once we start getting back up over that 47K region will I be looking for continuation to the upside. At which point, I'm saying 48K, we start breaking 48K, then hello 57, here we come. As far as downside targets are concerned, I'll be looking at this green box territory. I believe I have the 10 SMA swinging in. Okay, no, this is the weekly time frame, so the 10 SMAs here, but we do have the 21 EMA coming in at $40,000. If I get on over to the daily time frame, then we have the 21 EMA as well as the Tenkin coming in at 42. So around $42,000 to $40,000 is going to be the range of support that I look for. What about you, Sean?
Nope, I pretty much the same thing. I'm looking at the 40,000 region as monthly support. If we do break this trend, this daily trend that we have towards the upside, we still have to put in a high low on the weekly time frame, as well as well, not the monthly really, because the monthly just began, but we could be looking for a high low on the weekly, right? Because the weekly has essentially been a 1, 2, 3, 4 candles.
That's
now.
A good point.
Right?
Very good point.
We just made a new high, but we have yet to put in a higher low. Where do we put that in? Well, we could come and test in the 39,000 region, hold the green box territory on a candle closing basis. Now this could take the next 2 weeks to play out, right? So now envision the candles. The next 2 weeks, maybe we do have the pullback towards the downside. Leading into September,
Right.
put in that higher low right over here around 39K. or 40K,
40K, yeah.
close about 40K though. At that point, you're looking at your bi-weekly as well, and that bi-weekly essentially would have a rejection off the top of the cloud, right? Coming down to give us a test on the next candle in the middle of the cloud,
Yeah.
giving us the next opportunity to break the cloud on the next bi-weekly leading into September. So you're seeing this multi-time frame analysis pan out across time frames, across the daily, the 4-day, the weekly, and the bi-weekly, as well as monthly. So
That's
yeah,
actually,
it's a beautiful picture.
Yeah, it's a great analysis there, by the way. Especially the postulation on the next weekly high or low.
Yeah.
Right. I say we start seeing multiple rejections on this, this green box territory region. We might just very well come down to fulfill Sean's hypothesis on that.
Hey, we don't know, right? The trade right now is you trend trade it. If we break above, we just keep looking for continuation. If we break down or we see rejection, look to bid the next high low.
Yep. Alrighty. So these are our targets for Bitcoin. Sean, are you ready to get on over to Cardano?
Let's do it.
Perfect. Now, guys, remember, if you want us to cover any of the altcoins that you are looking at, take this time to get down to the comments section and tell us which altcoin you want us to cover. And of course, the popular vote wins. So now let's get into ADA USDT. Is it okay? I'm on index, so let's get on over
Is
to.
it ADA?
I caved.
He caved. He caved into ADA.
I caved into ADA.
Oh my god.
Okay, so wow.
$3,000 next target.
This is a good chart.
All right, let me do this.
Cardano to the moon.
Let me do this. This is gonna be the Sean Dexter prediction for Cardano. What? Don't laugh at me.
No.
It's gonna happen.
This
It's gonna
is
happen.
possible. Very possible.
$2.50. It's gonna happen.
Boom.
That's it. That's it. All right. But we need to close this bi-weekly over here. Remember, guys, we've been talking about Cardano for a very, very long time. It's been one of the easiest trades, aside from Bitcoin has been hard to trade. Ethereum and Cardano have been the easy trades. If you go on over to the weekly time frame, I've been saying this ever since this region. Bid $1. Just bid $1 each time it comes down to $1. Bid and play the range at the very least. If you want to accumulate and play the trend trade, you could do that as well. Dynamic too, lining up right out there. You're seeing this $1 region being accumulated on for the longest time, right in this zone. We held it. Dynamic realized that too. It's like, hey, that $1 zone looks like the accumulation zone, and each time we've come down and tested it, look at the way we've held. Look at the candle close above the dynamic right over there. This is no coincidence. This is edge, right? So you play that edge over and over again. There are people who say, oh, hey man, we've tested it way too many times, one more test and we're gonna break. That's not how it works, and you guys know my stance on this. This level over here could be a monthly level, and these tests over here could be literally only 2 tests on the monthly time frame. You don't know, right? So you keep playing your edge until your edge lasts. And if you do close a bi-weekly, which is coming up coincidentally on this weekly close as well, it's going to look really, really good. The more bullish indication is if we close the next week as well above this level, Krisha, at $2.30. We get today's close where we are at, and then we get the next week close above $2.30. I'm looking for that bull flag target to around $3.50. That's it. That's your analysis. Period. And keep it Sunday. Keep it mango.
Yeah, I agree. Good friggin' breakdown. Damn. $3.50, guys, is extremely plausible. So yeah, I agree. Cardano takes out those tops. This is flying. I mean, this is flying. And you know what? When you hear these things being repeated over and over again, those very cliche lines, if it tests, support these many times, it's going to break. You have to, it's not that binary, it's not that black and white. You guys need to look at the candlestick. You have to look at the psychology of those candlesticks to really come up with a proper sort of analysis. All right, it's not enough. Those blanket statements are just not enough. All of those candles that we tested $1 on, those were powerful bullish candles. Yep. There's no denying that. Just go ahead, go back on over to the weekly, not the daily, sorry, the weekly time frame. Those were bullish freaking candles. Those were bullish pickups. Right,
when price kept coming down there, you're doubting it. You're doubting your trade. You're doubting the support level. But that's the thing. You got to keep emotion out of it and just trade it regardless. You may hate it. You may feel uncomfortable, but let me tell you something. trading is a uncomfortable endeavor. While you're doing it, you're supposed to be feeling uncomfortable, and often if you're feeling too comfortable, you really got to question your trade, right? Keep it simple, but hey, don't try to be too comfortable either.
Yep.
That's the only part of trading that is difficult, the psychological discomfort. Because if you didn't even have to deal with that, this gig would be too good to be true.
Yeah.
Just think about it that way. All right, so Krisha, we give them upside targets, but I do want to talk about downside targets before we wrap
go
up.
ahead.
Again, if we do lose that weekly zone over here, it's not going to look the best. Are we threatening to lose that weekly zone? Perhaps, but the bi-weekly level over here is lining up with it too. Okay, so how do we lose that weekly/bi-weekly zone? Well, perhaps if this 4-hour pattern over here sees a breakdown, right, and we do come down and close underneath this green box territory. It's just that Cardano bulls have far too much leeway, far too much buffer to work with, right? So we may see a pullback and test $1.85, Krisha. If we do lose $1.85, I'll be looking towards the bottom of the zone over here that you have marked out $1.75. Still fine at that point. Lose $1.75, that's when this looks really ugly. These wicks getting taken out, I'll be looking for a move all the way down to $8.30. So that's downside, right? So you have to keep that in mind as well. As bullish as you are, keep that in mind so that you're risk managing accordingly, especially if you are in a high leverage trade and you entered only around here. Right?
Yeah.
So at that point, your account is a bit at risk, regardless of how good this weekly is looking at the moment. Hey, if we close a good weekly though, let's see. We'll address this again in the week to come. We'll be covering Cardano likely again. So yeah, that's the downside targets. Upside targets, we are threatening blue sky breakout. Cardano looking great. Think about it, guys, Bitcoin still has some levels to chew through.
Yeah, Cardano is just, and we saw this coming, right? Just based on this, the sell-off that it had after Bitcoin on May 19th, it was not as significant as that of Bitcoin's. So this was sort of expected. We knew that the bulls had control of this chart. Sean, is there anything else that you want to go over?
Nope.
Right, so you guys have the Bitcoin targets, you guys have our Cardano targets, and yeah, we hope you guys enjoy your Sunday with this. Trade safely, trade stress-free, trade the mango way, trade the easy way. Ciao.
Ciao, guys.